Okay, this is David from davesound.com, and I'm going to do a demo of the Korg Guitar Synthesizer X911. This was released in 1980. I think it was only really available 1 year. It was actually created in the 70s, obviously. It is a guitar synthesizer, and there's a lot of videos of the guitar synthesizer with guitars playing it and doing all sorts of VCO tricks and weird guitar sounds. So I'm not going to do a demo of that. You can find those elsewhere. What I am going to do is show you how it is as a processor, particularly for really wrong things, which is my specialty, in this case, drum machines. So right over here, I've got a TR606, is an original Roland drum matrix. And what we're going to do is a number of things that I discovered a couple of years ago. This can be found on a track I did with my band Overdrive Date Master. There's a track called 3 in 3. It's in my Bandcamp, and you'll hear me doing kind of like a scratch guitar part. It's a synth auto wah type thing. It was done with this unit. It's the only unit that sounds exactly like it. It's kind of a scratchy, bizarre, synthy type thing. And the reason is because not only does this have an internal oscillator, and that's what this part always is. You have electric bass, tuba, trumpet, and so forth. And when you see people do demos, usually they play the guitar and it uses one of these preset analog sounds. You can tweak the filter and so forth. But it also has a VCO, which is just this section. And there are a couple envelope settings and there's a couple filter settings. There's also a guitar, which is basically using it as an internal processor. You can turn this side off and just use it as a guitar processor using the filter and so forth. And then it has, and this is my favorite, what's called distortion, what they're calling distortion. This kind of fuzzes up the processing sound, the internal sound, so that you basically have a kind of squashed sound, which then still is going into the filter. Years ago, Korg and a couple other companies came out with their version of it. I think Multifox did one. Had a Synthe Wah pedal, and this actually has the Synth, S-Y-N-T-H-E, Wah section, off 1 and 2. And these are the actual settings for the touch sensitivity. So what we're going to do is start with just a bass drum going into this unit, just affecting the lower pulse width at an attack of 0, a slight decay for something like that, into guitar. This is pretty much as standard as it gets. Now, I do have the Synthe Wah on, and I'll turn it off for a second. Also, I should point out its touch sensitivity, which is off, weak, and strong. I'm going to put it on strong for this case. So you hear the external sound being processed through the filter and the various twists of the X911. So here we go. This is just the bass drum. I'm going to tweak the VCF, which is a frequency. It sounds like, and there's a little bit of toms on there, it sounds just like a filter opening, right? Again, Synthe Wah all the way up. If I turn it off, you've just got the filter. I'm going to turn it on. Excuse me. And I'm going to add a little more things. So I'm going to add the sawtooth wave. And I'm going to change it to my favorite, which is a distortion. You'll hear the sound. It's kind of a squashed, screwed up. Who would want to use that sound? I love it. And again, we can turn the filter down. I'm going to turn the toms up so they'll actually start playing what appear to be notes. So we're doing kind of an auto wah, touch sensitivity up, Synthe Wah all the way up. Now here's where it goes really fun. You can, feeding in a signal that is not going to track even remotely, we're not sending a nice square wave into this unit, we're not sending a nice clear guitar signal that's compressed in this unit. you can send a signal processing externally, like a drum sound, into the preset synthesizer section of it. So into the trumpet sound, the distortion sound, the violin sound. This is what that sounds like. I'm going to start with the tuba at 16. And I'll turn these off. That's the drum machine playing the tuba section, just this side. I'll turn this side off. If I put the hi-hats on, it goes crazy. It's glitching because it can't quite get a signal. Let's do the distortion guitar. Turn the hi-hats off. We've got toms and the drum and the bass drum. That's just the bass drum. Now that's all the sounds over here. I'm going to turn the portamento up, which is going to come in handy when we start adding something else like the toms again. And the filter still's affected. Oh no, it isn't actually. My bad. I have to turn this on. Now if I turn the portamento down, this will still be glitchy, but you'll see it not as slippery. And now for fun, I'm going to add a few more of the filter sections, which is this stuff. Again, we're in the distortion mode because that's my favorite. Synthe Wah is up all the way, touch sensitivity is up all the way. Added some hi-hats. Turning down portamento. I've turned the cymbal up, which is totally glitching the unit. With the cymbal up, it's really screwing us up. That's the cymbal. Cymbal and hi-hat. Snare. Tom. Now I'm going to turn the guitar as opposed to distortion on. You'll hear it clear up a little bit. So there's some crazy stuff now for fun. And the last thing I'll do is, as opposed to just processing internally, like the sound going in, the sound going out, which you do with guitar and distortion and the signal select, I'm going to use the internal VCO of this, not this section, which has the presets, just the internal VCO. And you'll see again, we can make the drum machine make it glitch, but you get another unique sound. So let's just go back to just the filter section here with an attack of 0. VCO up. I still have Synthe Wah up. And let's make this just the bass for a second. So that's the bass drum playing the internal VCO without presets, just this section. going to add toms. Snare. Depending upon the, I don't know if you can see the peaking of the audio. But now we're going to add a few more options here for the filter section. That's just a snare. The high-pitched things are the hi-hats going in. Now I'm going to turn the filter down, the touch sensitivity down, so Synthe Wah is off. Sounds like Morse code. I'm going to add the toms, which are going to add a little... They're going to act like notes, but they're not, obviously. That's tom-toms from an analog drum machine going into the VCO in the filter section of the Korg Guitar Synthesizer. And portamento will affect that. I'll add the bass drum. Snare. Open the filter a bit. And we'll just go crazy. Excuse me. And distortion again. There you go. So that's how you can use the Korg X911 as an internal processor, including all the things that it's not supposed to do. Again, using just a simple TR606 drum machine. I hope that's been useful to you. If you're interested, check out my music on davidtalento.bandcamp.com. dadesound.com is my weird synthesizer company made of circuit bent and other fun instruments. And I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.